some more figures. 1980s toys make you rich. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We're in the classics here. This picked it up. Ran across this because this looks real interesting. You know about the stuff like some folks just go throwing out stuff and they're not knowing they could go sell it somewhere. Let's take a look at it. The hell?
As kids, we all had toys that we loved and enjoyed. When we got older,
I remember
either
that.
you or your mom most likely got rid of these, believing that they would no longer be needed. Maybe they were given away, or maybe they were sold. But because of those fond memories, people often look back wishing they still had these toys. This, of course, drives the value up, as some people are willing to pay whatever they can to recapture some of the...
Just those 3 or 4 things. I remember all that. Especially the little, you go in the, when you was little, you went to, kindergarten, or even if you went to the doctor's office, they had those little, not these, but the little play school, little race car sets and all that stuff sitting in there. And all that stuff from the 80s. It's just when these, you remember these from the, what's that movie called? And you'll break your neck and break your ass, because them things were something else. Slipping across them things.
If you happen to have some of these old items and you're willing to sell them,
the little dog, the
it's
puppy
possible
dog,
for you
pound
to make
dog,
some serious money.
Oh, of course,
it really does depend on what you have, as well as the condition that they are in.
I think that's from Legos, isn't it?
The Nintendo Entertainment System was a game system that solidified the gaming industry in the 1980s. In 1983, the console retailed for $199.99, which is about $514 in today's money. Every kid wanted one of these, and so did some adults. An original NES can sell for around $1,100 on eBay, but if you have a factory-sealed one, then you can get some serious money. On February 15th, 2020, one sold on eBay for $36,655. The bidding war was 60 bids.
Woo!
A Super Mario Brothers game can easily bring $200, but if it is factory sealed, then they can go anywhere between $6,000 and $17,000. The Legend of Zelda is another iconic NES game, and in the latter part of 1987 there was a limited production run on one version that has become rare. In July of 2021, Heritage Auctions sold one for $1.1 million.
Crazy.
When you think of the 80s and toys, you can't help but think of the Cabbage Patch Kids. Parents went insane over these and even got into fistfights in stores during
No about fist fighting over them. No about that. My cousin had a truckload of them sitting in the corner, just sitting there. Next thing you know, threw them all in the garbage. Oh, not the same day, but just years later. She probably could have had probably 10 grand or more. Who knows how much them things are worth? Now he's gonna say it in a minute, probably. Just threw them all out, and then those little people with the monkey face, monkey heads or whatever, threw them in the garbage. Okay, they gone now.
Christmas shopping season of 1983. It seemed like they couldn't make enough of these, but they were actually making $200,000 a week. At the time, the dolls retailed for $20 to $25. But some stores were selling them for as high as $50. Today, these dolls can bring good money on eBay. If they are in mint condition, they can bring more than $2,000 each.
See?
The Star Droid FX7 appeared in the movie Empire Strikes Back for a whole 16 seconds. More than enough screen time for this medical droid to have an action figure of its own. A mint condition one, new in the package, sold in 2014 for $12,900. A lot of the older figures can also fetch some good money if they're in the right condition. However, there are some rare figures that were never supposed to be released and yet somehow were in Brazil. If you happen to have any of these, it's difficult to place a value on them, but they are worth a ton of money. Boglins were a creepy, cute
Ooh,
rubber
those were some
puppet
weird
that was
looking
sold in cardboard
things
boxes
there.
that resembled cages. Kids who enjoyed horror also loved these little figures. In
Little
2019, a
giant
mint
head
condition
things.
Halloween Blobkin sold for $1,000 on eBay.
Ooh.
Cabbage Patch Kids weren't the only popular girls' toy in the 1980s.
Mm.
Care Bears started out as a
Oh, I
character
forgot
in
about
greeting
them.
cards from the American Greetings Company before they became a lovable plush bear. In 1985, they even had their own cartoon show.
Mm.
The Noble Heart Horse Care Bear is one that is really sought after among toy collectors, and it can easily sell for $200 to $300.
Mm.
If you have any original Care Bears in excellent shape, they can easily sell for as much as $500. My Pet Monster
That
was
guy
released
there.
by the American Greetings in 1986.
I believe I saw somewhere. I don't know what I was looking at, but they may be bringing this back. I mean, it probably won't be as good as the original, but yeah, they might be bringing them back.
This was the same company that introduced us to Care Bears. This
Yeah, I never
lovable
had this
monster
dude.
was marketed towards young boys who didn't want to admit that they loved stuffed animals. They were sold somewhere around $20, and today they can sell for around $100. If it's new in the box, then it can sell for more than $500.
Yep.
Many kids in the 80s collected
Oh,
baseball
man,
cards,
oh.
and there are quite
Now I regret getting rid of these. I keep pausing it, but I regret getting rid of the baseball and the football, all the things. I didn't throw them out, but I don't think, but they got given away or something. Them cards from the 80s, them cards are old as hell. Kept them. I don't care if it's tops or upper deck, because those are the two I remember. Had boxes in the booklet thing full of them. They were everywhere.
a few that are worth a lot of money today. If you have the Topps number 482 Ricky Henderson from 1980 and it is in okay condition, then it can bring a couple $100. But if it is in really good condition, then it can go for
Remember those
$1,200
baseball
to
card packets?
$1,500. Or even some listed on eBay for $30,000 or more. Barbie is no doubt a popular toy, and throughout the years there have been a lot of different ones sold. If you happen to have the Happy Holidays Barbie from 1988 and it is new in the package, then it can bring a couple $100. As with any of these toys, the condition is key. So for this one, you really want to have one that doesn't have any yellowing on the package or any damage. He-Man and the Masters of the
course.
Universe
Now we're getting
came out
somewhere.
in 1982.
Sir.
Since then, there have been cartoons, comic books, magazines, and even a live-action movie. But the toys are what were really popular.
Yep.
The figures can bring pretty good money, especially if they are new in the package. One of the more iconic things from the series is Castle Grayskull. It originally sold for $29.99, but if you have one unopened, it can easily fetch $1,500 to $4,000 on eBay. Transformers were one of the defining toys of the 1980s. They even had their own animated series to help sell the toys. The toys made $100 million in 1984 and $333 million in 1985. It's not uncommon to see some of the main characters like Optimus Prime or Megatron being sold for $300 each.
He's more like
If they
$500.
are in mint condition, then the price can rise to around $2,000. Starscream was sold at an auction for $5,891. Soundwave was sold for $3,000 on eBay. If you can bundle these together, then you can bring in tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, come on with the ads again now.
You go to the movies to escape, and all can help audiences to escape.
People connect with that simple message of
In 1983, Hallmark released Rainbow Bra.
And I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing for this thing, boy, because the cutting back and forth, and sometimes the screen drops out. Oh boy. But yeah, this guy here, yeah, he ain't BSing about this value on the stuff. People probably got some kids from where I was at lived back in the day. They probably got a bunch of old stuff sitting in the attic, just dusting, sitting up there. They could have been sold it, but they just probably either forgot about it or don't care, pay it no mind.
Right. They even had a 13-episode cartoon that helped market them, as well as a movie which made
what's her
$4.89
name?
million at the box office. These figures could use the power of a rainbow to make you happy. They originally sold for $15 each and can easily
take
go
more
for
than that.
$350 to $450
How about that?
on
The
eBay
power of a
if they
rainbow.
are in the right condition. Zany Zappers are one of the strange toys from the 80s.
I don't remember those.
They are essentially sunglasses with red LED lights in them. They originally sold for $5, but you can see them selling for $50 and occasionally $100 to $150. Mac balls were one of the many gross toys that became popular in the 80s.
Those weird dudes.
They were about the size of a baseball, and they even had a cartoon about them at one time. Originally, they sold for $3.50 each.
Oh, that's cheap. Mad balls. Those monster head things. What are they called? The boblins, and the garbage pail kids. They were rough. Ooh, they were rough looking. And I think they had a movie. I know if you got them in the package, you got something there. But these, between them and the garbage pail kids, oh boy, they were rough. They were rough.
Have one now, new in the box. It can bring $100 or more. G.I. Joe may have started out in 1964, but it was really the 1980s when they boomed. A cartoon was launched in 1982, and smaller figures were being sold that included backstory cards. In 2019, 6 unopened G.I. Joe Night Force figures from 1988 and 1989 sold for $5,000.
That's the 25th anniversary there.
That's $830 per figure.
Quick kick.
In 2018, the Missile Command Headquarters playset in the box sold for $4,569.
Woo!
The Defiant Space Shuttle playset sold for $2,850 in 2009.
I had one of the spaceship. It was another one just like this one, and it came with the space pilot or whatever you call it. But the spaceship that goes on the other one, it was smaller. But I had one of the spaceships. I remember that. That was like '89.
And it was originally sold for $129 in 1987.
Yeah, I didn't have this one. I had the other space. See, this one comes with 2 figures. I had the one that came with 1 figure. It was another spaceship, but this was the double. I had the other one. This was I think this was a lot bigger than the one I had. I remember having one of the spaceship thing.
The A-Team was a television show that was loved by many in the 1980s.
Classic.
The van, as well as Mr. T, became iconic and very much a big part of the decade. There were action figures being made by Galoob, and they sold for around $5 each.
Had them.
Today, these figures can sell anywhere between $50 and $150. If you have the right one and it's in mint condition, then it can sell well above those prices. Dungeons and Dragons toys have become somewhat popular to collect.
Never was really into
They
them.
began in 1974, but the toys appeared in 1983, and the action figures sold somewhere around $3.99. If you have any of these, they can sell today for somewhere between $30 and $400.
Whoa!
The prototypes for these toys can bring a few $1,000s each. Knight Rider was another popular television show in the 1980s
that car so
starred
bad?
David Hasselhoff. Kit was a talking car, and it has become super iconic. A lot of the kids were carrying around lunch pails in the 1980s.
And a thermos, remember all that?
$9.99. These same lunch pails in great condition are worth anywhere between $150 and $200.
Woo! Woo! For a lunchbox.
She-Ra is from the Masters of the Universe franchise, and she also has her own television show.
I thought that, I don't know where I got that from. I thought that was He-Man's wife. That's his sister, you idiot. I didn't know who that was. Who the hell is She-Ra? She-Ra. That's his damn... Oh boy.
Back then, there were very few female superheroes. Since that time, she has become pretty collectible, and the most sought-after item is the Princess of Power Crystal Castle.
Didn't know she had a
It
castle.
originally sold for $32.99, but it can
Wow.
easily sell for around $200 today. If you have one in mint condition, then it can easily fetch close to $600.
Whew. Phew.
Muscle figures were
Oh,
sold
yeah,
in a
them
10-figure can
muscles.
for about $3. There were tons of them to collect.
Cousin had them too.
Muscle was actually an acronym which stood for millions of unusual small creatures lurking everywhere. They became extremely popular in the mid-80s. Loose figures can be purchased today for a few bucks, but if you have certain ones or lots of them bundled together, then they can bring a few $100s. Teenage Mutant Ninja
There
Turtles
you
was
go.
first a comic that was released in 1984. Issue number 1, in excellent shape, can go for thousands of dollars. If you look on eBay today, you will see a few outrageous listings for $150,000 and $249,000. Of course, there are quite a few people watching it to see if they actually sell for that price. Ninja Turtles became so popular that even other issues of the comic book series are worth thousands. Eventually, an animated series was released in 1987. The show became an instant hit, and so were the toys that came out in 1988. The toys remained popular well into the 1990s. The action figures in the 80s sold for $3.99, and today they can fetch more than $300 each.
The original ones, not the remakes.
These are just a few toys that we have
And then if you have the ones with the rubber heads, they said those are worth a lot of money because they changed they said they changed the mold in the heads, so it's different.
spotlighted from the 1980s. There are many other toys from the decade that are also worth
yeah.
money.
Let me pause that. Yeah, Power Glove. I remember that. Talking about this whatever you call this thing. The play school that's had it in the when you were a kid in the in those waiting rooms. Now about the phone with the eyeballs on it. That's kind of strange looking. See, it's the Rubik's Cube. Let's see the Mad Balls. This worm thing, whatever his name was. Simon, I forgot about him. That's the original Atari. Alf, the speaking spell. Game Boy, of course, is GoBots, I think. Yeah, a lot of. I remember Mr. Computer, or Mr. Professor, whatever his name was, or Mr. Calculator. I can't remember.
Anyone who
the
wishes to
driving
capture
thing.
a piece of childhood memories will pay good money for the one that they used to have. So if you still have any of these toys from the 80s and you're willing to part with them,
Yeah, I know. If I had some of that, I wouldn't. It would stay
someone
where it
somewhere
is now.
looking
That
for
I'm
the one
thinking
that
about
you
it.
have.
No, sir.
Make you a lot of money. Thank you so much for watching.
That was good there. See, yeah, but I wouldn't turn it loose. I had the He-Man and the stuff now. Like I said, only one I have. I'm gonna have to turn them loose because it's getting rough around here. The Mechanic, but that's about it. I don't have the original He-Man and all that stuff. I don't know about having even the He-Man with no weapons. Okay, they'll give you $300 for it. Know about that? That's not bad, but I don't know if you want to turn it loose. Go ahead, because they have like for the GI Joes and the He-Mans, like if their legs and stuff is broke, they have the rubber. It takes a while, but they have the things you can fix their legs with now. Fix the legs back, and then the plastic rings for the GI Joes. You can fix the old school GI Joes now, which that's actually pretty good because I used to fix those all the time. But take like those bootleg GI Joes called the Corpse and swap them out. But yeah, that was good. So even back in the day, I was little. I thought like some of this stuff gonna be worth money, and I was right. It's worth something. It's like, see, look at that. It's worth something.